You may or may not have come across another TikTok creator called BeeBetter. Recently, he has been on this Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and Justin Baldoni case. I do follow him, but again, I wasn't specifically looking for this. And he's talking about a video he had just posted last night that was taken down specifically, though, in the United States. Why would you just take down a video for... Why would you just take down a video just specifically in the country where a lawsuit is taking place?
So if you guys are watching this right now, I'd like to let you know that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have successfully gotten a video I posted last night taken down. More specifically, they got it banned in the United States because that's where they have their connections with TikTok US. You might be wondering, how do I know it was them? Because 2 weeks ago, someone from TikTok had notified me that their team had reported my account for misinformation and attempted to get my account deleted. But because I've never actually broken any TikTok rules and have been very fair in my reporting, they were unable to do so. So you might be wondering, what exactly was it about the video posted last night specifically that was so explosive they needed to get it scrubbed from the internet in just a few hours? And the answer to that is it's the first time I ever spoke to an exclusive inside source who told me something about the legal battle that clearly Blake and Ryan so desperately do not want the public to know, otherwise why are they attempting to censor me? Additionally, I'm progressively beginning to believe what I reported on is true, otherwise they would not be trying so hard to silence me. I think it is so pathetic that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds put together this BS lawsuit about how people are trying to manipulate public perception because their egos cannot even conceive of a world where anybody could dislike them, when in reality, they're the ones manipulating public perception by censoring people like me. So I'm officially seeking legal representation to sue Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds myself.
Now, here is the crazy thing, okay? I saw this, I saved it, I knew I wanted to talk about it. When I liked that video, this video has a lot of likes now. When I liked the video, it had under 2,000 likes. I mean, I had just seen it basically when it was posted. I can't confirm directly because I haven't spoken to him if the next video I'm going to play for you is the video that was taken down in the United States. But why I believe it might be the video, one, it was posted, I think 20 hours ago now, which means that it was posted last night. And in the video that we're about to watch, he's talking about having an exclusive source. So I think that this part 6 we're about to watch, it's about 9 minutes, so we might break it down a little bit, but this might be the video that allegedly Blake's team scrubbed from the United States. This video was back up and on TikTok, so is that a coincidence? Let's play it.
Okay, so if you thought you were having a bad day today, I would like to personally assure you that it is exponentially better than Blake Lively's, because she has just discovered that she is being sued again for defamation again by a man named Jed Wallace. And don't worry, guys, this time it's only for $6 million, so at this point that's like a walk in the park for her.
And now she has 2 defamation lawsuits going on at the same time. I don't know who the heck Jed is, but I'm sure we'll find out in a moment.
We also, for the very first time, have a BeeBetter exclusive. I have my first exclusive inside source that I think is pretty explosive, so I'm excited to share that with you guys.
And that's why I believe that this might have been the video that was taken down in the United States, because he's talking about having an exclusive inside source. But now it's back up and running only hours after he made that video being like, I need an attorney because this was taken down unlawfully against my right. If they did take his videos down and then he came out and was like, why did you take my video down? Now I'm seeking legal representation. And then they put their video back up, or his video back up. Couldn't he like sue?
So as always, grab a snack, take a seat.
Oh, baby, I got my Domino's. You met me in the middle of dinner, baby. I am 5 steps ahead of you, but I know some people don't appreciate chewing, so hold on.
So as I just mentioned, Blake Lively is now being sued by a man named Jed Wallace. You might be thinking, BeeBetter, who the hell is Jed Wallace? I'm going to tell you. So if we go back to Blake Lively's original complaint, one of the more explosive allegations was what she said about this mysterious subcontractor from Texas. She said, they also retain subcontractors, including a Texas-based contractor named Jed Wallace, who weaponized a digital army around the country from New York to Los Angeles to create, seed, and promote content that appeared to be authentic on social media platforms and internet chat forums. So something very important to note is this original filing that we all saw in the New York Times article was not a lawsuit. It was a complaint filed with the California Civil Rights Department. And these are administrative filings that are not typically made public. So what Jed Wallace's lawyer is alleging is that Lively weaponized this administrative filing, submitted it to all of these media outlets and specifically the New York Times, and in doing that, he was falsely lumped into all of these horrible allegations of sexual harassment and a smear campaign that he says he had no part of.
I mean, why is everybody just getting like lumped in now? Like, she's just like, and you get an allegation, and you get an allegation. Everybody gets an allegation.
And as a result of that, has lost millions and millions of dollars through his public relations business. So something very important that I noticed.
Oh, so yeah. You say something about someone that they can prove is untrue, but it had consequences either financially or impacted their business in a way. You have a defamation case. So, but don't worry, it's only for $6 million this time. So
is very shortly after Lively's legal team filed the real lawsuit after the complaint, the entire Jed Wallace storyline was completely excluded from it. So what I'm curious about is if these allegations were true and Jed Wallace was really the mastermind behind the orchestration of the smear campaign, why was he excluded? And I think the reason may be that they were hoping that these allegations would simply stop at this complaint and they wouldn't have to investigate it further. But when they had to actually go the real route of true litigation, they knew that the facts didn't really substantiate this story, because Jed Wallace is now saying he's never engaged in a smear campaign with Lively, he has never met her, and basically has no idea what's going on. So at this point, Blake Lively's legal team has already responded to this new lawsuit and has stated that this is simply a continuation of the smear campaign and an act of retaliation for the sexual harassment.
Hopefully, if that, obviously goes to court, that'll be easy. If this guy if he was never met Lively, wouldn't that be easy to prove that she's full of shit?
I would again state that Jed Wallace has never met Blake Lively, so I'm not sure how Lively's team believes that you can sexually harass someone you've never met, but at this point, it seems like they're accusing everybody. I'm worried they're going to accuse me. They're going to accuse you. You get accused of sexual harassment. You get a car. You get accused. Like, you know what I'm saying?
There was talks back in 2019 about Colleen possibly selling the rights to Justin Baldoni. And she was worried basically about them making a joke of this, like putting it into the wrong hands, the wrong creator to make her vision come to life. Okay.
And she said, my biggest fear is that I'll sell the rights to someone who thinks it's a rom-com and they'll take it in the absolute wrong direction. You can't write this. And now we have to move on to the infamous personal trainer.
Okay, and then we're going to talk about the personal trainer who was training both Lively and Justin at the time. Justin had back issues or surgery or something of the sort, I believe, reading, and wanted to know basically how much she weighed for medical reasons. So I'm interested to hear a little bit about what he has to say about the trainer and his involvement.
The reason this entire fat shaming debacle happened is because Justin Baldoni inquired about Blake Lively's weight to Blake Lively's personal trainer, who was also training Justin Baldoni at the time, which we know because we have several receipts that prove that. So this personal trainer, his name has been revealed as Don Saladino, celebrity personal trainer guy. He had a photo up of his wife along with Ryan and Blake Lively, and he edited the caption. I want to read to you guys what he said. He said, there have been negative comments on this post, negative comments sent to my wife, and believe it or not, negative comments sent to my children. To be clear, Justin Baldoni is not my client. I created a complimentary program for him as a favor to a client, Blake. I've never trained him virtually or in person. I never met him in person. We communicated via calls and texts from January to March 2023. I could not accommodate his schedule and found him a coach. After an uncomfortable conversation, asking about Blake Lively's weight, communications ended. So there's two main reasons why I don't trust this personal trainer. Number one, I think it's very childish for an adult to come up to you and ask you a very reasonable question like, hey, how much does Blake Lively weigh so I can adequately train my back muscles to lift her? And then for you to go and run to Blake Lively, who you know is insecure about her postpartum body and say, just
I don't mean to interrupt, but this seems very like, if you're working on set with like big Hollywood named actors like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, and then on the other hand, you have a lesser known writer, producer. I feel like Hollywood, a lot of it is very selfish. You network, but like I feel like you're always sort of looking at things as like, what can I get out of it, or what can I get out of this person? Or, obviously that's not the case for everything, but I feel like when it specifically comes to this kind of industry, not a lot of people are your friends, and the people that are your friends are probably people that you should take a closer look at, because anyway, so I almost feel like it was a way of this guy being able to like run back to Blake and being like, oh my god, did you hear what the new guy said about, like, it seems very high school, it seems very catty, it seems very, very immature.
Baldoni asked how much you weighed and he fat shamed you, but you didn't hear from me. That is so Regina George coded and not a way that an adult behaves, in my opinion. And number two, a very quick Google search will show that if you go on his website, I'm looking at it now, the main programs he sells are workout programs with Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, and Blake Lively. So he's obviously benefiting financially from their friendship. I'll show it to you guys right now.
Let me stay on their good side. Let me show them that like I'm on their side. Let me show them that like I got their back. I feel like it's like no matter what you say, it's gonna be taken out of context either way, because I feel like Justin could have either suggested cutting the scene from the movie, and then it could have been maybe taken as, oh, well, you're again body shaming me, or again could have asked about the weight to make sure that he doesn't get hurt on set, and it's still taken the wrong way. So I just feel like either way he would have lost.
Honestly, what was his motivation with telling Blake Lively what Justin Baldoni had asked? I think it was probably to further his friendship with her by throwing someone else under the bus. And it reminds me of like being in high school and then your friend comes up to you and they're like, listen, I didn't want to have to tell you this, but Jake thinks that you're a fat, ugly fuck. But you didn't hear from me. I know you because I'm your friend. You know that person's telling you that to make you feel like shit, but they're doing it to be like, oh, but we're friends, so I just had to disclose this information to you. That's what it's giving. Now, in my investigation, I also came across some information that I think is very, very damning. So we all know that Brandon Sklenar was one of the first people to come out and publicly back Blake Lively, right? Okay, hold that in your mind. What happened next? Then Blake Lively starred in the sequel to A Simple Favor 2 with a guy named Michelle Morone. This is the star basically from the movie 365 Days. He also came out and publicly backed her. This director of A Simple Favor 2 is Paul Feig, who also came out and publicly backed Blake Lively just today. And then guess what? It's just been announced that both Brandon Sklenar and Michelle Morone are casted in the new movie The Housemaid. And guess who the director is? It's Paul Feig. The same director has casted them, who are really not that famous at all, especially Brandon Sklenar. He was a total nobody before It Ends With Us. And now they've both been rewarded for this movie by Paul Feig, which is adapted from a book. So it seems like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have pulled their strings and have already rewarded the people who have come out and publicly supported them.
I like that he's using the word rewarded, because that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like someone's like setting off their little minions and being like, Emperor's New Groove, Yzma sends Krunk to do the dirty work, you know what I mean? And then come back to her and like he's reward. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like a henchman. Like you have your little henchmen and they're rewarded by getting movie roles or whatever.
As if this story couldn't have gotten any crazier, we have a ghost visiting us from Christmas past. Do you guys remember the disgraced lawyer named Elaine from the Amber Heard trial, who was quite possibly one of the worst lawyers I've ever seen publicly argue a case in my entire life?
Really quick, if you don't remember, Amber Heard, she had that case with Johnny Depp, basically alleging similar things to what Blake is doing. It's almost like history is repeating itself, we all know how that kind of went. So it's kind of wild if this lawyer is going to get involved, because a lot of people were kind of saying that Blake is kind of like the new Amber Heard, you know? So is this lawyer going to make an appearance?
She is back and seemingly publicly auditioning to be the newest member of Blake Lively's legal team with one of the dumbest takes I have ever seen. Let's take a look at what she said.
New York, as does Florida, they have anti-SLAPP litigation, and New York has really strengthened theirs. If you retaliate, like Justin Baldoni has here with his lawsuit, because she has spoken out on a matter of public concern, which certainly sexual harassment is, he is in danger of getting his case dismissed.
So what Elaine very stupidly missed in her analysis is that these anti-SLAPP laws exist in New York State, but this case is in federal court. So it doesn't apply. Everything she said was 100% categorically false. I have no idea where she got her law degree from. But you know what, Elaine? You joined Blake Lively's.
I was just gonna say, get her on the case.
Don't let them tell you no. I don't know about you guys. I want to see her join that team. I want to see her for part 2 in the courtroom. Get Elaine in the courtroom. Woo!
Quick pizza break. Now he's gonna get into his exclusive source.
So my source has told me that Lively's legal team is allegedly attempting to amend their filing and add Jenny Slate as a plaintiff to the lawsuit. But Jenny Slate allegedly does not want to be involved in this mess at all. And if she rejects their offer to be made an actual plaintiff in the case, which seems likely, they're likely going to subpoena her anyway and just include her testimony or her as evidence because she allegedly has had some very bad experiences with Justin Baldoni in regard to harassment or being made to feel uncomfortable on set. I think at this point, Lively's team very strongly believes that if they're able to add more women officially to the lawsuit, that the claims will look more legitimate. But at this point, I don't think Jenny Slate or anyone else on the cast really wants to jump aboard the Plantation Khaleesi's yacht that seems to be sinking rather quickly.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be afraid to kind of step into the spotlight with her, especially with so much backlash they're getting. Again, I think a lot of people kind of focus on their career, and it's not going to look very good if they go and talk badly about Justin, especially if all of this comes out to be not true. Now, I did want to include one quick screenshot because I thought it was interesting. It was from a totally different creator who had also picked up on this BeeBetter story rather quickly. And I'll link her video down below because I forgot to include her actual username in my screenshot. But I thought this comment was interesting and I just wanted to mention it here. Somebody on this creator's TikTok really went on to say, I really think BeeBetter is a master marketer. Unpopular opinion, but I think he's behind taking down his own video and creating this illusion that Ryan/Blake are after him. BeeBetter himself commented back and said, how would I take down my own video exclusively in the USA alone? Doesn't that make people look like way more guilty when they're like trying to erase stuff or trying to kind of smudge the internet of any information like that? Like I even took a screenshot. Yeah, that's me at the top. I'm like, they look so guilty. Someone even says, keep your foot on their necks. And he says, oh, I will. Now it's effing personal. I'm so interested in seeing what's going to come of this. Are they going to like pull BeeBetter onto this lawsuit? I would literally get him on. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I will see you guys in my next one.